Stop. Before you continue, I need you to know this isn't a story I read online. This is my confession. I quit this job because of what I saw in room 403. My name is Beyond Horror Explained, and I work security at the most haunted hospital in the state. And the scariest thing, it didn't stay in the building. For the next 12 minutes, I'm going to tell you the 3 simple rules they told us, and the moment I broke the last one. This hospital closed its doors to the public in the early 90s, a relic of a bygone era, but the security team, a small crew, including me, was still paid to guard what was left inside and keep trespassers out. It was supposed to be easy money, a quiet gig babysitting a dead building. That was true, at least until the sun went down. The moment the last sliver of daylight vanished behind the hills, the building changed. It felt like it was waking up, and we were trapped inside with it. The orientation was short, just a handful of us in a dusty old office. The site manager, the guy with eyes that had clearly seen too much, didn't waste time on pleasantries. He just handed us a single laminated card with 3 rules. The first rule was simple. Never respond to the intercom after 2 a.m. Faulty wiring, he'd mumbled, not even trying to sound convincing. Just static and feedback loops. Don't touch it. But we knew better. The old-timers who trained us called it the witching hour. That was when they started the call. Not for help, not for a nurse, but for you, by name. The second rule was just as strange. Do not use the main elevator after midnight. It was a massive, clunky service elevator at the center of the building. The rule was, if the door opens on its own, you take the stairs. No exceptions, we called that the phantom floor. Guys would be on the first floor, see the elevator door slide open, and just feel this overwhelming dread emanating from the empty car, like it had just come from somewhere deeply wrong. One guy swore he saw it stop between floors, the doors opening to a wall of solid brick. He took the stairs from then on, even if it meant a 10-story climb. My first few weeks were uneventful. I got used to the groans of the building settling, the wind whistling through cracked window panes. I learned the patrol routes by heart, the dead ends of the echoing wards. It was lonely, but it paid the bills. Then came the first Tuesday of October. The air was colder, the silence heavier. I was at the main security station, watching the grainy black and white monitors, when a crackle broke the silence. It was 2:07 a.m. A faint, distorted whisper hissed through the intercom speaker. It was just one word. So faint, I almost missed it. It sounded like, help. I froze. My trainer's words echoed in my head. It's a trap. It wants you to answer. It wants you to come looking. I reached for the button, my hand shaking, but I pulled back. I just sat there, listening to the static, my heart pounding against my ribs for what felt like an hour. Later, that same shift, I was doing my rounds on the 4th floor. The pediatric wing, it was always the worst. You could almost hear the ghosts of children's laughter, and sometimes something far less joyful. As I walked down the long, dark corridor, my flashlight beam cut through the oppressive blackness. That's when I saw it. Just for a second, at the very end of the hall, a shadow detached itself from the other shadows. It was tall, unnaturally thin, and it just sidestepped into the doorway of room 403. I sprinted back to the nearest security camera monitor station, my boots echoing loudly in the empty hall. I needed to see what was on that feed. I rewound the tape for the camera pointed directly at that hallway. Nothing. Just an empty corridor. I checked the other cameras on the floor. All clear. Then I switched to the live feed for the camera right outside room 403. It was pure, buzzing static. A wall of digital snow. Every other camera on the floor worked perfectly. Just that one was out. The one pointing at that specific door. A cold dread, thick and suffocating, started to creep up my spine. My mind raced back to that laminated card, to the final, most important rule. The final rule, the one printed in bold, red letters, the one my manager stressed above all else. It was this: never look into room 403. He said, you lock the door on your patrol. You physically check if the handle doesn't turn, and you walk away. Don't linger, don't listen, and never, ever look through the small glass window on the door. He never told us why. He didn't have to. The fear in his eyes was explanation enough. That night, standing in the flickering fluorescent light of the nurse's station, staring at the static-filled monitor, I knew something was different. And then I heard it. It wasn't through the intercom this time. It was real. And it was close. A soft, muffled crying coming from down the hall, coming from room 403. Every instinct screamed at me to follow the rules, to turn around, finish my patrol, and get the hell out of the East Wing. But the sound was so pitiful. It sounded like a child, terrified and alone. My logic fought my fear. It's a recording, I told myself. It's the wind. It's faulty pipes. But I knew I was lying. I started walking, my flashlight beam shaking violently, painting frantic circles on the peeling walls. Each step was a battle. The crying got a little louder, a little clearer. My heart hammered against my chest, a frantic drumbeat of pure terror. I reached the door. Room 403. The small brass numbers were tarnished with age. My hand was slick with sweat as I gripped my flashlight. I hesitated, my breath catching in my throat. I broke the rule. I raised the light and peered through the small, grimy window. There wasn't a ghost. There wasn't a monster. For a second, there was just an empty, derelict hospital room. A rusted bed frame, a tipped-over nightstand. I felt a wave of relief, quickly followed by foolishness. Then my light caught it. Scrawled on the far wall in something dark and smeared were words. It wasn't paint. It was too dark, too organic. It looked like it had been written recently. The message read, "I see you." My blood ran cold. My entire body locked up. As my eyes were fixed on those words, something in the room shifted. A dark shape in the corner, which I'd mistaken for a pile of rags, moved. It unfolded itself, easing slowly. It wasn't human. It was long, impossibly long. And it turned a face with no features towards the window, towards me. Before I could even scream, the doorknob rattled violently, turning back and forth with impossible speed. Bang. Something slammed into the door from the other side, the force of it making the whole frame shudder. That's what broke the spell. I didn't think, I just ran. I scrambled back down the hallway, sheer animal panic fueling my legs. I broke the second rule. I didn't even consider the stairs. I hammered the call button for the main elevator, praying it would come. The door slid open instantly. The car was empty, the air inside unnaturally cold. I leaped in, smashing the button for the ground floor. As the doors began to close, I felt a sudden, forceful push on my back, sending me stumbling forward into the elevator car. I spun around, but there was nothing there. Just the empty hallway of the 4th floor, and the closing doors cutting off the darkness. Mind a blur of adrenaline and terror. I didn't even remember the drive. I burst through my front door, locking and bolting it behind me. My back pressed against the wood as I gasped for air. I was safe. It was over. I stripped off my uniform jacket, throwing it on a chair, and headed for the kitchen to get a drink. My hands were still shaking. As I walked back through the living room, a glint of metal caught my eye. There, hanging neatly on my closet doorknob, was my security badge. The one with my picture and name on it. The one I was certain I had left clipped to my jacket pocket at the hospital. I called my manager the next morning and quit. No explanation given. He didn't ask for one. I still have the badge. I keep it locked in a box. But every now and then, I take it out. Every time I see it, I wonder what exactly followed me home from room 403. I haven't slept right since. This is Beyond Horror Explains. If you want to support more true stories like this, hit the like button now. It lets me know you want to see more. And don't miss the next video where we dive into another place the government tried to erase from the map. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.